Hey, Washington, it's that time of the week again. We are gearing up for week 12 of Washington State's 2025 legislative session. And today I've got your call to action on bills that have hearings next week in Olympia. So let's dig in. Hey everyone, I'm Julie Barrett, founder of Conservative Ladies of America. And every week during the Washington State legislative session, we bring you a list of bills that you can register your support or opposition, mostly opposition, for bills that are being heard that week in Olympia. We are getting late into the session, so most of the bills on our list today you have already heard about from us before, but there are a couple of new ones on the list that are outside of our area of focus, but they are pretty bad bills. So I wanted to make sure that we made you aware of them today so that you could register your opposition before the public hearing coming up this week. I have links for each of these bills right down below for you to click on and register your opposing position for each of these bills. If you do all 9 of the bills on the list, it'll take you less than 5 minutes to sign in for each of these. Please do share this video and this information far and wide so that we can get lots of citizens in Washington State making their voices heard in Olympia. Let's dig in. The first bill on our list is Senate Bill 5098. This bill adds to the list of sensitive places where you cannot carry a firearm things like county fairgrounds, parks, mostly places where families and children are present, places that law-abiding citizens would want to be carrying their firearm. Please be sure to register your position for Senate Bill 5098. The next bill on our list is Senate Bill 5123. This bill expands the list of protected students under Washington State's gender inclusive schools policy. It adds gender expression and gender identity, sexual expression and sexual identity, homelessness, immigration status, and neurodiversity. All children should have the same rights to not be discriminated against. This is not a good policy. It's not good to be adding these special classes to protected classes of students. This bill also means that boys who identify as girls can go into girls' bathrooms, girls' locker rooms, and even play on girls' sports teams. This is a very bad bill. Please sign in for Senate Bill 5123. The next bill on our list is another one that you have heard a lot about. This is House Bill 1163, which is the permit to purchase a firearm, which would require citizens to go through training and a full permitting process before they could exercise their Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. This is a terrible bill, and it is in the Senate Ways and Means Committee this week. This is probably your last opportunity to register your opposition before it goes to a full floor vote. So please register on House Bill 1163. The next one is House Bill 1696. This expands on Washington's Covenant Home Ownership Program. This is essentially a reparations bill for historically marginalized people. So this would apply to people who had descendants who lived in Washington State prior to 1968. It would give them a lot of preferential treatment when it comes to buying a home and taking out home loans, even some home loan forgiveness. I've done a full video on this bill, which is linked below if you want to go check that out. Please register your position on House Bill 1696. Our next bill is another one that you have heard a lot about. House Bill 1296 is the bill that would repeal Initiative 2081, which is also known as the Parents' Bill of Rights. This bill, 1296, removes parent access from very essential and critical student education records for students who are in public schools, including, and most alarmingly, medical and mental health records. This is a very bad bill. We shouldn't be keeping secrets from parents. And of course, Washington State Democrats think that's a great idea. The other thing that this bill does is it adds a Students' Bill of Rights. And of course, in the Students' Bill of Rights, we need to protect students from their parents and from having to disclose information to their parents. This is a terrible bill. Please sign in con for House Bill 1296. Our next bill is House Bill 1971. I recently shared a video on this bill that's missed our radar most of the session. This would require insurance companies and, of course, Washington State Insurance to provide a 12-month supply of hormone therapy. This is particularly geared towards transgender hormones, so puberty blockers, cross sex hormones, and the bill applies to patients of any age. So that means children could get these cross sex hormones, puberty blockers, a whole 12-month supply at one time. And we know that in Washington state, so called gender affirming care is protected health care, which means children of no minimum age can access this care and these services without their parents' consent or even notification. This is a terrible bill. It passed out of committee with 2 Republican senators voting yes. That was Senator Paul Harris and Senator Ron Mazzal. This is now in the Senate Ways and Means Committee, where we hope that every Republican will vote no on passing it out of committee. So please register your con position for House Bill 1971. Next on our list is a new one for us. This is House Bill 1491. This would be a state plan for high density housing near transit stops and transit centers. And one of the big things with this is there's no parking requirements. So they're going to be building these high density housings, think ugly apartment buildings along I-5. And there's not going to be any parking because, of course, they don't want people to be driving. So this is a bad bill. It would put an extreme demand on your local government. It is bad for a number of reasons. Please sign in con on House Bill 1491. Our next bill is House Bill 1217. This is the rent control bill, which would increase cost and decrease availability and would discourage development. This is a very bad bill that would have severe economic repercussions for Washington state. Please sign in con on House Bill 1217. Our last bill is Senate Bill 5189. This bill we have talked about before. This is competency-based and mastery-based learning in public schools. This is a Marxist program. They are teaching culturally responsive education to children. It is very much in alignment with DEI policies, critical race theory. This is not something that we want to further in public education. I did an entire video with Steve Welliver, who is an expert on these kinds of policies that they're pushing into government schools. And he is a former K-12 educator from Washington State. I've got that video linked below if you want to go do a deep dive on competency-based learning. In the meantime, please do sign in con to oppose the implementation of more competency-based learning in Washington State on Senate Bill 5189. Well, that wraps up our list for today. We are going to have some more bills for you to sign in on throughout the week. There are a number of tax bills coming up this week that we are going to have you sign in opposed to as well. Those are going to come out through our Substack. So if you are not already, make sure that you are subscribed to the Substack, because then you will get breaking alerts and calls to action delivered right to your inbox. Please share this video with as many people as you can so that we can get a lot of Washington citizens turning out to oppose these bad policies and letting everyone in Olympia know that they do not want these bad policies imposed on Washington citizens. If you're not already, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure that you've got those notifications turned on, because many of our videos, just like this one, will be time sensitive. If you appreciate the work that we do and all of this information and content that we put out so that you can engage in your government, I've got a link to our Give, Send, Go right down below. The other thing that you can do is sign up as a paid subscriber to our Substack. That is a great way to support the work that we do. We are just a group of citizens who are deep diving into these policies and trying to educate and alert other citizens so that they can take action. We don't have any big funding, and so it is through the support and generous donations of people like you that allow us to spend the time to bring you this information. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching and taking action, and I will see you in the next video.